What if a simple invitation could transform the prayer life of your family? Hey everyone, welcome back to the Couples Journey blog series podcast. We're on part 4 of Praying Like Never Before. Today, we'll hear from Annie as she shares a profound moment that sparked a new prayer practice in her home. Join us as we explore the power of sharing our faith and the importance of inviting our loved ones into a deeper relationship with God through prayer. Here's Annie.
I still remember that morning when I invited my husband Ray and our children to join me in prayer to thank God for our food. It was the first time they heard me make such an invitation, and it marked the beginning of our family praying over every meal. Before that breakfast, I spent an hour meditating on God's words and pouring out my heart in prayer in our guest room. Though they didn't say anything, I could see the curiosity in their eyes, especially after I had just finished a heavy cry. I shared with them how I encountered God that morning and how He reminded me that I'd been neglecting Him for too long. I admitted I wasn't even thanking Him for the food because I was rushing through my busy day filled with work and responsibilities. Ray and the kids understood what I shared. When I finally invited them to pray, some were surprised, but that morning became a milestone for us, marking the beginning of thanking God intentionally for every meal. I want to clarify, I hadn't shared the gospel with them before that day. It was simply an honest moment where I boldly shared how I had experienced God during my devotion. In our book, Couples Journey, Restore, Relearn, Rejoice, Ray and I share how we were raised in different religious backgrounds. Thankfully, this didn't cause conflict in our little family of 5. Later, we realized that our understanding of God was often tied to a religious perspective, attending church, whether Catholic or Protestant, but lacking a true relationship with Him. My experience that morning, sensing God's presence during my devotion, truly surprised them and opened their eyes. This is often how I start when women in faith ask me about inviting their unbelieving husbands to pray. Back then, Ray, our kids, and I had some knowledge about God, but it was far from what truly God intends for us to know Him intimately and personally. I didn't see them as believers, nor did I consider myself fully living out that reality because our daily lives doesn't reflect genuine faith. When it comes to inviting your spouse or children or others to pray, I believe it's valuable to share why prayer matters for that moment. Ray and the kids might have joined me that morning because they knew I was thankful, but beyond that, many may not fully understood or embrace the truth that in everything we should give thanks to the Lord, just as 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 18 reminds us. In some cases, your spouse may not respond with sincerity or might even reject the invitation altogether. Don't be discouraged. Recognizing God's authority in our lives takes humility. I, for example, discovered Christianity at a young age, but I still wandered away from it. It took years before I realized I needed to return to God. That journey was humbling, so humbling that I almost had an open heart surgery. When someone rejects your invitation, extend grace. We're all recipients of God's grace. I always encourage believing wives living with unbelieving husbands to see prayer as declaration of faith, honoring God's authority and His attributes. It's an act of humility that continually seeks His guidance. As our spouses observe how we intentionally live a life anchored in Christ, God can use that to reveal Himself in their eyes and hearts. May our prayers serve as a powerful way to share the message of the gospel and lead others closer to Him. In the end, it is only God who has the power to change our hearts. For it is God who is at work in you, both to will and to work for His good pleasure. Philippians 2 verse 13.
Before we close, we want to invite you to engage with us and support the Couples Journey blog series podcast. By following this channel, leaving comments, and sharing episodes with your family and friends. You're helping us in our mission to transform marriages today. Your support encourages more couples to seek God's guidance and grow stronger together. Thank you for being part of this journey. Together, we can make a difference. Here's the final part of today's episode.
Thank you for joining us as we reflect on the beautiful journey of inviting family members into prayer. Annie's insights remind us of the transformative potential prayer has in our relationships. Don't miss tomorrow's final part of the series, where we'll wrap up with powerful takeaways and encouragement for implementing prayer in our everyday lives. Until then, may your heart inspire those around you to seek God's presence and grace.